A good Wednesday morning, Quad Cities. It is Wednesday, June 4th, 2025, 9 o'clock here on the A Plus app. You know what that means. It's time for Ask Andrew Live. I'm meteorologist Andrew Stutzke.
I'm weather anchor Peter Warner.
What a night last night. I know a lot of you seeing significant storm damage across the Quad Cities. A lot of us are probably tired, run down. Very long night.
You especially.
A lot of storm tracking last night. Yeah, no worries about me. I'm going to catch up on my sleep here a little later this morning. Morgan Strackbine gracious enough to handle the 11 o'clock duties for the next couple of days, so I'll be all right. But I'm definitely concerned about the folks that got the storm damage last night.
Especially them too.
Yeah, I mean, it was everything from trees down, power lines down. We also know that there were at least, I think, 2 train derailments that we know of.
Yeah, so there's the New Boston one, and there was also one further to the south.
Yeah.
Fort Madison.
A lot going on. So it was a busy night. We're going to recap and spend a lot of time today talking about that. What happened, where the National Weather Service, by the way, is going to be heading today to see, was it straight line wind damage or was it a tornado that came through?
It's true.
I think that's going to be the big question on everybody's mind today.
That is, and that's something we're going to keep an eye on here as we continue through the day.
That's right. So we'll highlight some of those areas. So lots to talk about. We're happy to have you along here on this Wednesday morning. If you're new, welcome aboard. This is something we do every Wednesday here on the A Plus app, 9 o'clock sharp. We'll answer your questions too. If you have some of those coming up toward the end of the presentation, how do you get those questions to us? Right there at the bottom of your screen. It's 309-304-0888, 309-304-0888.
309-304-0888.
We've got it memorized. Yes, best way to get your questions too. A lot of you took advantage of that too with the severe weather last night and sent us a ton of pictures. Awesome job with that. Again, we're kind of limited to what we can see here in this building that has no windows in the studio. You know, James and I, you guys are the eyes and the ears of the weather team in the field in addition to the beasts. So a fantastic job to everyone last night. Give yourself a pat on the back for letting us know what was happening in your hometown. That information is so crucial during coverage.
It's so important. So we used a lot of reports to kind of determine what are we seeing. So the radar only tells you so much, right? That's why we have the beast. But the beast also is one car.
That's right.
So you can only get so much from that too.
It is just one tool and it can only be in one spot at one particular time. So also a shout out to our own Maddie Franz. They were in the beast last night doing that tracking for us. A fantastic job. Thank you, Maddie, for all of that, especially getting into the Coyne Center area, which was particularly hard hit. And that is one of the areas the National Weather Service is really going to be investigating as we go into today.
Yes, and can't forget our photojournalist, Cesar Sanchez, as well.
That's right, yes, who was driving.
He was driving and helping get some of those really cool shots. And I think he got a really nice picture he took on his phone, too.
Was that the lightning picture?
Yes, I would assume that was Cesar, because I know he loves his photography.
If that, that was awesome.
That was awesome.
I need to find that picture because I want to share it on social media because it was quite a shot to see.
It was beautiful.
Yeah, so hats off to both of them for getting out there, braving the weather conditions. Of course, safety is our top priority. That's why 2 of us were here watching where they were at, all of that good stuff. But yeah, a lot of damage to pick up. Now, of course, we need to clean up this damage. We need some good weather to do that. And it looks like that'll be the case for the most part, but we're going to be dealing with some smoke and some low air quality today. This is something that's really been impacting your side of Iowa over there in Des Moines.
Central Iowa, they're seeing that moderate, the orangish color here today. And that's impacting not only, susceptible groups, but kind of the general public as well. Still sees a significant impact, just even breathing in just a little bit of that. Can't really take a run out there today, obviously, because if you start getting that smoke in your lungs, you'll start to feel it if you take a run after even like 15, 20 minutes. So
it's very impactful.
Yes.
And you guys actually have a weather impact alert in place over there at Channel 5 in Des Moines today.
Yes, we do have that. All the way through Thursday morning, it's going to kind of linger there too.
Yeah, very thick stuff.
Yeah.
Not fun at all. So we're going to talk more about that too. When are we going to get a break from that smoke? We'll give you the national and the regional perspective to try and track that in as well. And we have a whole bunch of pictures queued up that Peter's going to help us kind of sort through all of the pictures. These were submitted via the News 8 app. When you do that photo submission, they go right to this source. So we'll take you through those too. Let's recap yesterday really quickly here, just going over some of the storm reports. What you're going to notice is there were no confirmed tornadoes. That again could change very quickly and very easily this afternoon once we get the National Weather Service crews out there to survey things. So take that again, grain of salt right now. That could change. This was not a hailstorm And that was not the expectation either. The expectation was this was going to be wind with embedded tornadoes, and that's exactly what we got. That report out of Burlington, Peter, just blows my,
Oh my goodness.
mind.
I saw that yesterday. It kind of developed the track, by the way, just shout out to our house model and
Yes.
future track we were showing yesterday, nailed the track of these storms, the timing and everything, and that Boeing signature too. And we saw that in Burlington yesterday in that first early window. That was something we were talking about on our severe storm discussion yesterday. And my goodness, did it really perform?
And aren't you glad we trashed that model one we said we were going to trash?
Oh my goodness. That had us getting severe storms in the metro at 3 p.m.
Yeah, and obviously that did not happen.
No.
The original scenario that we stuck with, that's exactly what panned out yesterday. So that's another reason, we can't just go saying, oh, you meteorologist, you just rely on this AI, you just look at a model. No, we were doing more than looking at a model yesterday. We were actually diving in, comparing, okay, is this model showing what's going on versus reality right now? And that was not the case with our model that we showed you yesterday, the newer one. It was the old one that was doing that. So we're still using that good old-fashioned, common sense, the gut feeling, the meteorology, the science, all of that is what you need. AI is not going to be replacing us as meteorologists anytime soon. And yesterday was case in point, Exhibit A, as to why it is not going to happen anytime in the near future.
No.
So yeah, hats off to our in-house model, did a phenomenal job with that yesterday. There you see a lot of tree damage, 217 reports. Now, this to me seems really underdone, the numbers.
Just a little bit.
I think, what you're going to see is these will go up in time. You got to remember that a lot of this came in near sunset. And it's not likely until now this morning as people are getting out and about, we're seeing all of this damage. We're seeing the power lines, the trees down. There was actually a significant amount of damage near South Park Mall, just down the hill here. Someone had sent me some pictures moments ago. The traffic lights, I guess one of them is twisted and kind of bent into the other direction. And also, I just posted on my social page too, some of the strong winds racing through the parking lot last night. So there's a lot of underreporting that's going on with the winds, but I think that number will ramp up here as we go through the day and we get that final report.
And once we go through these pictures too, I think that'll help show how kind of underperforming these arcs we got.
Yes.
Oh, it feels like tons of pictures with lots of damage.
Oh, there's so many. I mean, I can barely keep up. I'm still trying to get through all the text messages that had come through. So here's what we've got in terms of the damage reports. We'll zoom this out. You got a lot of heavy rain. That was not a surprise on the Illinois side of the river. We're going to compile those rainfall reports. I'll have those for Morgan for GMQC at 11. So if you're curious about those, come back for the 11 o'clock newscast. I'll leave that list with her and she'll be able to share those with you. But you can see there are multiple defined areas here that are kind of in a consistent line when it comes with wind damage. You've got the one here in southeast Iowa. You've got another one here moving into parts of Mercer County. They're kind of west of Aledo. And then you've got another huge one right here through the metro Quad Cities with lots of wind damage. So you look at that, you look at the layout of that, something was evidently and clearly brewing in those regions. And those are some of the regions that the National Weather Service is going to be looking at. Here's one of them. Their survey teams will be going right in this region here from Coyne Center, including the metro Quad Cities, just to the south of the metro, near South Park Mall, the airport. They'll be going there, north of Coal Valley. They may go just to the east of Kelowna. We'll see, but this is kind of the general vicinity they were talking about this morning here in the metro in terms of looking at damage. And I think they'll go a little bit further southwest too than what this
kind of near
does.
Edgington too. I remember yesterday when I was watching you guys last night, that's where we started to see that kind of circulation form kind of near there too.
It really got intense at times too, and really had us a little bit nervous. So that's one area. In fact, we'll show you the rotation here in a second. This is the other area, Fort Madison, which based on what I'm hearing and what I'm seeing out of there, just blasted. We had the train derailment. Someone had commented the doors were blown off the front of the Dollar General store. Roofs were detached, significant tree, power line damage into Fort Madison. So that's going to be another area of interest too that the National Weather Service is going to go through. This is a neat product, and we don't get to show this a lot unless it's like a storm event like we just went through. But this is the rotation tracks from those storms yesterday. So what are we looking at? Well, green is weak rotation, and then it goes to red, and then it goes to yellow. We don't have any red or yellow But this is giving us a good indication of where that rotation was. And speaking of edging, Peter, there it is right there.
Yep.
You can see it moving right through just east of town. And that kind of matches up because I think someone, again, I'm still digging through all this stuff. There's so many. But someone, I think, either sent me a picture or a video somewhere along Illinois 192 yesterday evening of something going on there. Again, I
Was
gotta
that
dig
the
through
video
this,
we were
but
looking at earlier? We were like,
Yeah.
looks kind of...
the swirling.
We saw the swirling with the clouds. Couldn't tell if it reached the surface or anything in
Yeah.
the video, but that's what we were kind of keeping an eye on there.
That is exactly where that was.
Okay.
He has such a better memory than I do.
Oh, I don't know about that.
But that is where it is there, yeah, near Turkey Hollow Road. I remember pointing out that road on radar last night.
I do, yeah.
For the velocity data. So that's one area I think they're going to be very interested in. You've got these other kind of scattered areas. There's another one near Reynolds, southwest of town, where rotation was detected, and then it picked up again as it headed northeast.
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't see that.
And there's Coyne Center. Look at that.
And that's where we saw the mobile vehicle home complex.
Yeah, so if you kind of draw the line here, if there was a possible tornado, you know, the track would have taken it right up there, right into, or maybe just north of the Quad Cities International Airport, just south of the station here.
And I remember right around that 7 o'clock time frame, you guys were talking about right at the 280 74 interchange yesterday as well.
Yep, and that
saw
goes
that.
right into that region. You're so right. So this one here, it looks like it didn't quite make it into the metro. It looks like it may have stopped. But yeah, there's something going on with these two swaths right in here, where we may see some confirmation that we had some tornadic activity, I would say, in those two regions close to the Quad Cities.
And I mean, you can see it even carries into kind of the Quad Cities area, Moline, right? If you scroll up a little bit, yeah, you can see kind of right near 39th there and 74 John Deere Road.
And it gets a little messy.
That's where it gets messy. So we're not saying obviously that was one there,
Right.
but it kind of shows the path of where the stronger winds were moving yesterday.
And even into Silvis, there's some good rotation pronunciation there. Had a little bit more heading into southwest Whiteside County. That was kind of near Erie and Prophetstown, but we didn't get too many reports from what I've seen in that area of any significant damage. So we'll see about that. Let's go further south, especially into Fort Madison. Interesting to see no rotation tracks there.
Straight line.
Now, exactly, and I think the other thing we have to keep in mind is the distance from the radar.
The radar hole in
Exactly. I really, this is my wish list. If anybody in Congress is listening, anybody higher up in the government, we need a radar in Northeast Missouri so bad. It's a terrible situation. It is a radar dead zone. And we just can't see much.
Because it goes, here in the Quad Cities, Des Moines. Then do we have one, Kansas City and St. Louis?
Kansas City and St. Louis, yep.
Does Columbia have one?
Columbia does not have one as far as I know.
So those are the four, and then I guess you could say Peoria kind of tries to reach over there too.
Yep. So if you put those on there, there's your radar locations here. Kansas City.
They only go for maybe 200 miles at most?
That's about it, yep. Then you've got Lincoln here, and then Chicago.
Yeah, Lincoln over Peoria.
So there's this like giant gap here that has no radar coverage, unfortunately. But that's all you can do about it, you know? Just need a little more funding there to get that fixed, and that would be nice to have. So yeah, it could be like Peter said, it could be a situation where it was straight line wind damage. I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case, given the bow echo that came through there. That's kind of where what we call the apex of the bow is, where it was protruding the most ahead of that line.
That's where you get those kind of surface low-level jets.
Exactly, and that can really wreak some havoc. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to mess with some data here for a couple of more minutes, and then we'll pull up some of your pictures. Let's go to the last 18 hours, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a stop to that. And let's just kind of re-rack where that line started and how it kind of evolved. So remember when we were doing our severe storm discussion yesterday, we were talking about the clearing that was moving into northeast Missouri, and that's kind of exactly what happened. This would be, it looks like about 3 o'clock in the afternoon from my timeline here. So we're going to move this ahead step by step. And you can really see, especially as it started getting into extreme southeast Iowa, the amount of bending going on.
The bow echo.
And you most likely had what we call a Meso Vortex or a Meso Vortice starting to develop. It's kind of think of it as a little mini area of low pressure, likely started to form right in the kind of
right in that
pocket
area behind it, where it kind of cools down a little bit.
Yep, and then that enhances the wind flow. it enhances the wind speed, and it enhances the storm motion. So the storms start moving more quickly, they start getting more wind, and that really causes some big problems. So there it goes, getting ready to move right into Fort Madison, Burlington. It's no wonder.
Yeah, you can see kind of even it jets out there right as it tracks through Fort Madison area.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of more, in an organized line, but then you start to see that bow echo develop kind of right on top of them in Keokuk County.
Yeah, they're right there.
Yep.
Right there. And also we got some notchiness going on in there too. And by notchiness, what you're looking at are these little indentations in the radar presentation where we could have those quick spin up tornadoes like we had with many of these radar signatures last night. And then, going right through Burlington. I mean, right there.
The rainfall rate and all the lightning too.
Yeah. Most lightning I've seen in storms so far this year, by the way.
Oh,
I think
clear in a way.
Really, really lightning, full of lightning. The bending there, though, as that went through Burlington, no wonder you had an 81-mile-an-hour wind gust.
Look at that. Right there. Too.
Yep. And then, of course, we started tracking that as it was moving closer to the Quad Cities Metro. We developed more of this kind of notchiness.
I was say near Galesburg we saw that.
Yep. You can see that there coming into town.
And Monmouth as well, too. I remember yesterday we were keeping an eye on that.
Yep, we had a little one here, we had another one here, more embedded right within the front of the line there. Let's go to, and I want to preface that we're using low resolution data because the high resolution stuff, we can't go back as far. But there's Coin Center, and look at all those notches, the little protrusions.
You can kind of see the two right there. Just to the east, you could say east-northeast of Edgington.
Yep.
There's one.
There's
and then
one
just
there.
to the south and east of that near Coin Center, you can kind of see those two little couplets form.
Yep.
And that's what we look for on radar that kind of can help us indicate at least maybe some potential rotation is when you start seeing those couplets.
That's right. And there were many of them. Many, many of them. So there's the one going into Edgington, and if you advance this to the next frame, you notice how it gets even more kind of notchy looking here. You got multiples. You've got what? One, two, maybe three, four in there. Five?
Yeah.
About five total
Even
in that
further
line.
to the north, obviously that wasn't one, but kind of notchy even up on the Iowa side up there too.
Yeah, I mean, they were just all embedded within that line. And then, of course, we had that move through the metro, kept going to the northeast, kind of died down a little bit, still a little notchy this into eastern Henry County, it looked like.
It was. And you can also see in south western Whiteside, you can see a little bit of that notch there too. If you go back just a little bit, kind of right there-ish, kind of coupley a little bit. So, and that's where we kind of saw that rotation track.
Yeah, that matches up well with that.
Yeah.
With the rotation track, yeah. In fact, I think at some point it was about right maybe there or there, the radar did put the tornado tag on it. Indicated the algorithm was detecting.
I remember that.
Tornadic activity. We were occasionally checking in on the correlation coefficient too. I know that was something we were going to discuss today on Ask Andrew. Unfortunately, the severe weather kind of upended that entire plan, so I'm going to push that to Monday. We didn't really see, last night any debris balls or debris signatures on the CC on the correlation coefficient.
And I think that's kind of, what we would expect in these type of scenarios, right? Because these are smaller, weaker per se spin-ups. You aren't seeing those large broadband tornadoes where you can really get those large debris balls, for example, like Greenfield that we saw in Iowa last year.
Right.
So that's something to keep in mind with these two. You aren't going to get crazy debris balls many times with these type of tornadoes.
Yeah, and especially they were just so saturated with rain.
Yeah.
Everything was so rain-wrapped yesterday. And we mentioned that during the coverage too. It wasn't the kind of day you're going to be able to go outside on the porch and say, there it is. It's coming toward me. It is going to be wrapped in rain. It's hidden. And that's another dangerous aspect of the storms that we had yesterday too. So that's a recap of everything there. Storm reports, again, where the National Weather Service is going to be heading today. What we're going to be waiting for is confirmation. Straight line winds, or was this tornado damage? We're going to find that out for sure as we go throughout the day. So stick close to your News 8 app. As soon as we get that confirmation, we'll get something pushed out as soon as we can. And of course, we'll have more coverage coming up on GMQC at 11. And we have also our newscasts at 4, 5, 6, and 10 tonight. Lots and lots of damage.
Should get some news today.
Yeah. The one thing I'm thankful for, no injuries. No reports of injuries, so that's good. We're going to go, you know what? Your computer might have went to sleep.
Might have gone to sleep, but let's go see if he can wake it up.
We're going to wake Peter's computer up because we want to go through some of these damage pictures before we get to your questions here. Again, I want to thank everyone that submitted those pictures You are our eyes and our ears in the field, really helping us tell the story and let us know what's going on in your hometown. We appreciate that. I may not be able to respond, and we may not be able to respond to every message we get, but know that we're reading those, we're going through them, and we appreciate everyone who sends in those confirmation pictures of what's going on in your particular town. I'm going to give Peter a second. Did you get it?
Yeah, we're all good. I think.
Okay.
Let's see if our hey, there we go.
There we go. So yeah, let's just kind of go through those and see what we're seeing here.
Let's see. Here's one we just got it from a viewer, but this is just a video. I think this is the video we were talking about, Andrew.
Oh, that's cool.
Isn't that the video? Is this the video we were talking about? I don't know.
It might be. It looks a little bigger.
It looks a little bigger.
But that's a cool shot.
That is a cool shot.
Look at the rain shaft.
Oh my goodness.
And that's where your tornado would be. It's embedded in all that rain.
Yeah,
If there was a tornado.
That's what we were talking about with the rain wrap. You're not going to be able to see a lot of these situations. Here's some more tree damage.
That's a big tree. It looks like it fell on the roof.
Yep, that did. Let's see, here's some more tree damage. Another one that looks like it's on a roof. So this is what we were talking about too, Andrew, when we were talking about this might be kind of really underreported. Because we're going to see a lot of pictures here of some potential damage as we continue to kind of go through these. Here's another tree damage picture.
Oh, it looks like it got uprooted.
Yeah.
Wow.
That'd take some pretty strong winds too, wouldn't it?
It does. I don't know if the tree is still alive, but even if it wasn't, I don't see any leaves on the branches. But if that was able to uproot a tree that hardly had any leaves on it, that's pretty impressive.
That is.
Wow.
Yep. That was just a viewer. Let's see, building damage here.
Oh, it looks like we got maybe a shed or maybe a garage or something.
Yeah, it looks kind of near a garage. Can't tell if that's like the roof from it maybe, or...
Do you see that, Peter, above that garage door in the middle? I don't know if you're able to zoom in. There you go. I don't know if that's something that got embedded into the side of the building there, or if that was something that was originally hanging there and has fallen off, but...
I don't know.
Wow.
I can't...
The garage doors got peeled off. Do you see that in the bottom?
Oh, yeah, they're knocked off down there too.
Yep. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, and we are just kind of getting started here with these. I was kind of looking, Andrew and I were looking through, and we probably got, 50 at least photos?
Oh, there's so many.
So many?
Yeah.
And we're just going to continue to come through. Here's some more building damage.
Yeah, look at the wall bent in.
Mm-hmm. You can see that bending. Let's see if it's, let me zoom there. Yeah.
There you go. There, yeah, that's a good shot. Wow.
Yeah. I mean,
That's
parts
impressive.
of it knocked off, and
Yeah.
I know hopefully we can find that. We saw one of the grain holders, or I'm blanking on them, grain.
Oh, the grain bins.
There we go.
Yeah.
Grain bin got knocked over here as well. This is look at this one too.
Oh my goodness. And you got roof damage. Looks like that might have been part of a shed, possibly.
Stuff kind of flying up on top of the roof right here too. You can see that piece of wood that got up there.
Oh my goodness.
I wonder, is this the same garage? Do you think that? No, this is not.
That's what I can't. This might be further to the right of the garage we just looked at, possibly. You kind of see it in the distance there.
Let's see if we can go back up. This looks like a very similar garage.
Yeah, looks like that one might be just a little bit farther in the distance.
Mm-hmm. But still some good damage. Look at this building damage. This looks like an old barn, I would assume.
Yeah, that's completely torn apart.
But yeah, not a lot. Most kind of knocked over and destroyed by these winds, we're assuming. Here's some more tree damage. Look at that one.
Wow,
that's a big tree.
That is
That's a lot of leaves too, and leaves kind of play an impact on trees potentially getting knocked over, right?
That's right, yeah. If this would have come through 2 months ago, we probably wouldn't have seen this much tree damage because the leaves weren't present, but now they're there. And now the wind has more to grab onto, more surface area for the trees.
They added a little bit of weight too. That's something you don't think about.
Yeah.
So you pick up some leaves. Oh, it's not that heavy, but think about how many are on the tree too.
No, you're right.
So that, I think, is something to take into account here as well. Here's an uprooting. It looks like it was a smaller tree, but...
Looks like it's right next to a house or a building or something.
Yeah, right next to a house.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, that's impressive.
Let's see, we'll keep on going here. Here's a tree on a house.
Oh, that's some big, that is a very large limb.
Yeah.
That's going to cause some significant roof damage.
I was saying diameter, we're looking at at least a foot in diameter?
Looks like it to me.
Very
Very
these
thick.
branches knocked over.
Yeah.
And that takes some really strong wind gusts to get those down too.
My goodness.
Let's see. Oh, here's some
There's
of
your
those.
grain bins.
There's the grain bins.
Yeah.
Taylor Ridge.
Oh, and look, it even spilled. You can see it on the right there.
Oh, yeah.
Looks like it's got some out.
Wow.
I don't know, can we pan over to the left? Can we zoom in a little bit more? I don't know if that's a building or if that's another bin. Maybe, it looks like it's a bin that collapsed.
Yeah, it's a bin that collapsed completely, it looks like.
Wow. Just flattened it.
Uh-huh. Yeah, because you can see there's a car right there of them looking at that damage.
My gosh. Yeah, you can see the dryer, the grain dryer on the left-hand side of that flattened bin. I can't say I've ever seen, recently anyway, a flattened grain bin. Usually they're dented or they're just blown over.
Yeah.
But this is like blown over and flattened.
Completely.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, wow.
That's incredible.
It's impressive stuff that we're seeing here. And I mean, again, let me see how many more pictures we have here. So now we're back to June 3rd. So we still, let's see, storm clouds, storm, hazy sun. So there's the fire at Wallace's that we were talking about. So from here on up is how many pictures? I guess probably right around here.
Yep.
And up is where we saw. Look how many pictures we got sent in here.
Is where it all started. And if you have pictures you'd like to send to us and get them in this gallery, use the News 8 app. That's where these are coming from. They automatically go into this gallery that everyone can see. You got to it, Peter, by just going to our website. You hit news and then near me.
Yep.
That's how you're seeing all these pictures.
Yep, and this is directly from our website, and I believe the place to submit is pretty much right around here too.
Yep.
Right?
Same location. Yeah.
Yes.
That's some impressive damage there.
And this is at the park that Maddie went to in Coin Center.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Coin Center seems to be ground zero for this. I don't know about you, but that's what it looks like to me.
It's kind of Coin Center, Milan areas, I think, where we're seeing kind of that best potential.
Wow.
Yep.
That's devastating.
Yep. And I heard about Highland Springs Golf Course. I know they're seeing some stuff too. So.
Wow. That's incredible. I'm looking at all this damage, and it's amazing again. Nobody was injured. Nobody was killed. That's our goal. That's our number one priority with these things when they come through, is to save lives, to make sure you have planned and you have prepared, and that's what's happened. Folks seem to be well aware of what was coming in. They took the appropriate shelter. Especially when we were looking at the damage that Marshawn was showing us this morning of the tree going through the trailer there in Coin Center. It's just unbelievable nobody was injured. Unbelievable.
Very glad to hear that.
Yeah, very thankful for that.
Yes.
There's some good tree branches down there too.
This was Amanda out in Monmouth. I remember we were looking at some of those winds yesterday in Monmouth as well.
Yep. Monmouth, Henderson, into Warren, getting some very strong winds.
There's another tree, looks like on a roof, and that's out of Monmouth here as well.
Yeah.
This is from Amanda.
Wow.
Yeah. I think that's pretty much most of them, but these are only the ones that have been put on our website so far. So I think we're probably going to have a few more that definitely pop up there in the days ahead.
Oh yeah, there will be more. That is for sure. There'll be more coming in. And again, if you have some photos that you want to add to that gallery, you go to WQAD.com. You see that news link up there right next to the logo. You'll hit that, and then you'll hit Near Me. And that's the gallery where all of these are populated. And then there's an option for you to send them in too, and they'll give you instructions right there on the page on how to do that. It is helpful if you give us our location. I know a lot of phones have privacy settings that restrict that, but I think there's an option for you to manually put that in there. So that way we know where these pictures are coming from, because a lot of them don't have locations. I get it. You don't want to give out that sensitive information, but even just a generic description would be super, super helpful so folks know where this damage is coming from. So thanks again to everybody that's done that submitted their pictures. We appreciate that so much. Again, helps us tell the story, and it helps us see where the worst of that damage is. And again, we'll wait for confirmation from the National Weather Service. Thank you, Peter, for doing that, for getting your laptop all fired up, all logged in.
Oh, yeah.
Because a lot of impressive damage across the region. We have time for a couple of quick questions. We'll go ahead and we'll get those taken care of. Then we're going to run to a couple of meetings. I'm going to run home and get some sleep.
You need it. You need it.
Catch up on that a little bit. So that way we're fresh and ready to go for GMQC tomorrow.
Yes. Let's get a couple quick ones in here, Billy.
Yeah.
Our good friend in Clinton. We'll get the correlation coefficients, as he said.
Yes.
So I think that was Billy's question.
I owe Billy like 2 lunches at this point.
I know.
I'm so sorry, Billy. Yeah.
But he was wondering about the considerable damage tag. When did the NWS start doing that? And does that mean PDS and severe thunderstorm/tornado emergencies are considered a tag?
They absolutely are. So these new tags, and you're seeing those now in our banner, when there's considerable damage, catastrophic damage. These tags just recently started in the last couple of years. And it's the way for the National Weather Service to kind of differentiate Is this going to be our run-of-the-mill severe storm that's going to have a good rush of wind, maybe a tree or two comes down, maybe a power outage here or there? Or is this going to be something that's going to cause a ton of damage?
Yes.
Widespread damage. That's why we have those tags on there now.
Yes, and I think it's a great way to classify it and kind of help prevent it, or I guess not prevent it, but purvey it, I guess, out to the field.
Yeah. They've studied this over and over, and what they found is the more information we give you for a warning, the more likely you're to heed it and to take action.
Yes.
So that's why you're getting all these extra pieces of information and all these extra tags in there.
Gwen was wondering about New Boston. Was it a tornado? Felt like when a significant damage to our town was done.
That's what we're going to find out.
We're finding out. That's all kind of to be determined, correct?
Exactly. We're going to find that out today. I'm going to go back to this map that the National Weather Service folks had kind of sent us today. There probably is a chance that there was some rotation in that area. I can kind of see that on the map here. Whether they go there today or not, again, we're going to have to wait for confirmation on that.
Yes.
So kind of have to sit tight and wait.
Yes. They got a lot of work to do today, too.
Yeah, they're going to be busy. Not to mention they're short-staffed as it is.
Yes.
So they got a lot of stuff to do.
Yes. Let's see. Cassie said Woodland came together very fast. It was so comforting to see everyone. That is wonderful news.
We love that one, yeah.
Yes.
Folks can come together and help their neighbors and all that good stuff.
Yes. And we'll get one more quick question. Deb from Knoxville was wondering, how is it determined after the event was actually a tornado?
So what they're going to look at is they're going to look at the damage and how it is laid out. If it's a straight line damaging wind event, all of the debris and the damage is going to be pushed in one direction. If it's a tornado, you're going to see damage thrown in a whole bunch of different directions. You're going to see it thrown in one direction, thrown in another direction. That's the easiest way to tell. It's nice too that we have drone technology. They'll put drones up. Tornadoes typically do some ground scouring. You'll see a little bit of some lines in the soil. Yeah, and the crop isn't high yet. It's not tall. So if these tornadoes or a possible tornado did go in an open field, we should be able to see that track.
Yes.
Pretty easily.
So, yeah.
That's how you know.
Brandon, you can let me know on Facebook. I can try and help you getting the photos from your phone to your app.
Yeah.
You can reach out to me and I can help you with that in the future.
It's pretty easy.
Yeah.
And if that doesn't work, we got other ways to get them in too.
Yes. You can always text them to that number, 309 304-0888.
It's another good way to get them in.
So, yeah.
All right. What a busy day it was yesterday. We're going to quiet skies down. I know we said we were going to talk about air pollution. Let's do that really, really quickly here. When are we going to see this get out of here? Today, like you said, air quality alert for all of Iowa. Earlier, there was an air quality alert for all of Wisconsin. For some reason, that doesn't show up on my map anymore. But here's just the movement. Last hour, this was further northwest.
It was in Des Moines, too.
Yeah. Now it's moving east. So what you're seeing in red is unhealthy for most. That's you and me, those of us that don't have, pre-existing conditions, heart disease, heart problems, lung problems, etc. That's us, unhealthy for most. Unhealthy for some, that's that special group where you have maybe some really severe asthma, you have heart problems, you shouldn't be outside breathing this stuff in. If you look behind it, there's still quite a bit of smoke to go. What's going to happen the next few days is we're going to pull winds out of the northeast. That's a little bit of a cleaner wind. It's not totally clean, but it's not as bad as what we're seeing today.
Yes.
So that's when we'll expect that to improve, as early as tomorrow. That is our hope. But we're going to continue to see this for a while. Weeks.
Yeah, it's that time of year.
It is, unfortunately. Yeah, just going to have to kind of live with it. All right. I hope you guys have enjoyed this episode. We're going to see you right back here next week for another episode of Ask Andrew Live. Thank you again for everyone that helped with our coverage last night. We really greatly appreciate it. Stay safe, everybody, and have a great Wednesday.
Continue with us and watch free now on the 8 Plus app everywhere you stream.